What's going on? This is Myke C-Town, 1/5 of the Dead and Hip Hop crew, and this is What's in My Bag. So yeah, every time I come out to LA, I make sure I make a stop at my favorite record store in the world, and that is Amoeba Records. This time around, I was out here on family business, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time, but I was still able to score some pretty decent records. So yeah, I'm going to show them to you now. The first one I'm going to show you, this is Barreracudas with Can Do Easy. It's funny, you come out to LA and you find a record by a local Atlanta punk band that I didn't already own. This is great power pop, really catchy, some great melodies here. This has that kind of catchiness, that stuff like older Elvis Costello and maybe the Paul Collins albums had, with that kind of snarky, smart-ass attitude of like a Ben Weasel or something. But yeah, it's a great piece of my local punk scene, and it was nice to find it out in LA. Next one I'm going to show you, this is Husker with Metal Circus. This is one of the earlier Husker records. I think this came out in like 83. I don't see a date. 82, 83, 84, somewhere around there. So this is when they were still more of a hardcore band, before they added a lot more melodies and serious songwriting. But yeah, this is definitely kind of that DC kind of Rites of Spring kind of sound. So yeah, if you're into that sound and you haven't heard this record, this is definitely one to grab. Alright, the next two records are by the same band, and that's going to be Kaos, Sacramentum. And this is Avgrundens Konst, which I am sure I am absolutely butchering. But Kaos Sacramentum is one of the many bands of Sir N, who also does Grov and Draug and Svartrit. And this is one of his more straightforward, actually kind of aggressive sounding black metal projects. But this is their debut album. Really well done, really well played black metal that, while it's aggressive, it still kind of has that mystical feeling, that mystical sound that Sir N projects have. Records on Black won't bother showing you that. This is actually out of print. I'm not sure how much this sells for. I want to say that I saw a copy of this on Discogs for like 60 bucks, but I actually scored this at Amoeba for a mere 30. So I was pretty stoked on that. Anyone that collects ancient record stuff, you know that once it goes out of print, it fucking skyrockets in price. And the next record is another Kaos Sacramentum record. This is some shit that I am just, I don't even think I want to try. Förneka den Fysiska Lekamen. Yeah, it's in Swedish, so what the fuck ever. Alright, but yeah, this is labeled a compilation. I'm not exactly sure why, because there's no real information on exactly what's on this. It says recorded during the summer of 2008. So I don't know why this is labeled a compilation as opposed to just an album. But either way, it's really, really fucking good. However, this is more akin to the other style of black metal that we know Sir N for, the kind of weird guitar style that he does with Grov. This one's not quite as aggressive as the other record, but it still has some aggression to it, and it's just as good, just in its own way. Next one I'm going to show you, this is Latterman with Turn Up the Punk, We'll Be Singing. Yeah, Latterman I found out about through the band Reviver, who I'm a huge fan of, and I know that somebody from Reviver is either in this band or was in this band. And also, somebody that was in this band is now in Iron Sheik. So, at the very least, you can say that the guys from this band know good music. I don't know. That's a stupid statement. Anyways, this is really cool. Kind of angsty punk rock. Kind of if you mixed, like, Dag Nasty with like hot water music. I think you get kind of an idea of what this sounds like. Nothing super unique, nothing super special, but I still really like it. Record's on this kind of, I don't know if that's like a green kind of marbly kind of vinyl, which is really nice. Nice little printed insert here with lyrics and some pictures of the guys. I think this is out of print as well, but I'm sure it doesn't go for a shitload of money or anything. So if you're in a punk rock mood and you like a little bit of melody to your punk rock, then definitely give this a shot. And once again, the next two records are going to be by the same band, and that band is going to be Raspberry Bulbs, and this record is Deformed Worship. Yeah, this is a great punk band that kind of gets associated with that whole blackened punk thing, but I don't actually hear much black metal when I listen to this band. It's definitely more of a raw punk band to me. More akin to bands like The Cums or Subhumans than anything black metal at all. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old band Moss Icon at times, just maybe a little bit more dirty and kind of angry. Records on black won't bother showing you that, but it has this kind of nice little printed, little mini booklet-y type of dealy inside, so that's cool. And if you didn't already know, the people from this band are also in Bone All. So maybe that's the kind of connection, because Bone All definitely has more of a black metal tinge than this band does. But, you know, maybe it's one of those guilty by association type of dealies. And this other record, this is another Raspberry Bulbs record. This is Privacy. More of the same kind of music as the other record that I just talked about. The songs are just more varied, kind of spastic, even more Moss Icon-ish. The production is a bit more dirty from what I remember, but you know, the songs themselves are just as good. Records on black won't bother showing you that. Again, a nice little booklet-y type of dealy inside. Next one I'm going to show you, this is Remigius with a long name that I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, guys. Yeah, this is a dark ambient project by the same guy that does As Alyssa Sath, Beketh Nexamu, those bands. One of my favorite musicians in the Swedish black metal scene, maybe in the black metal scene at all in general. This is actually pretty easy to come by. It's not hard to find. You can get a copy on Discogs for probably about 20 bucks. And probably because it's not all that interesting, but it's still cool to own. Meaning it's not something that I think you'd listen to on a regular basis unless you're just really into that kind of dark ambient sound. But, you know, it can appear dull at times, but I don't know. Anyways, the fact that it's limited to like 250 copies and you can still find copies floating around for about 15 to 20 bucks kind of tells you something. Records on black won't bother showing you that. And the last record that's in my bag is Saves the Day Through Being Cool. Guys, this is a bona fide emo classic, all right? And I'm talking about emo that's not Hot Topic emo, all right? I'm not talking about fucking My Chemical Romance. I'm not talking about The Used. I'm not talking about Motionless in White or Motionless in Black, whatever the fuck they're called. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that came out in the 90s before emo was a dirty word that people steered away from. But this is kind of around that line of like emo and punk rock, okay? So this is like, if you're familiar with Lifetime, okay? If you're familiar with, shit, if you listen to New Found Glory, this is where New Found Glory came from. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There would be no New Found Glory without Saves the Day. But Saves the Day was just such a great band. They were nerdy, they were great musicians, they really knew how to write songs. Nice printed insert here. But they're kind of bratty, but at the same time really sentimental. You know, really, I don't want to say whiny, but I guess you could call them whiny. But I like to think of it as, you know, these guys we're singing about all of the things that us awkward, nerdy punk kids in the 90s were feeling, you know, and this goddamn cover is just so perfect, you know. The guys sitting there, there's a party going on in the background, and they're just like, you know, not really paying attention to what's going on. And then you have the kind of cute little typical punk rock girl that's kind of looking back like, oh, I feel like I should be hanging out with these guys instead of these other lame dudes. Like maybe these guys are the cool ones. But yeah, she's probably wrong. They probably weren't the cool ones. Yeah, the nerdy guys like us, we were never the cool ones. Anyways, I think we're done here. But yeah, this is a fucking awesome record. If you see it around, definitely grab it. If you've never heard of it and you kind of are interested in where emo came from, or if you're just wanting to hear some kind of older, well-written punk stuff, then I think you should definitely grab this. This is a repress that's on Equal Vision. I think this actually came out in like 99 though, but doesn't matter. Anyways, it's an awesome record, and that's actually gonna do it for this episode of What's in My Bag. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank Amoeba for, as always, not knowing and or not giving a fuck about who I am, because I'm a nobody, just like you guys. And as long as we're together in being nobodies, then we're somebodies. That was the most fake deep shit I think I've ever said. The funny thing is, some YouTubers will say shit like that and actually think they're really like dropping jewels on you, like they're really on some woke shit. Anyways, that's it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, oh, and thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out, boy.